Native plants in many parts of Minnesota and elsewhere are being pinched out by buckthorn, a weed tree brought over from Europe for hedges. If the aggressive plant is left unchecked, these kinds of native Minnesota woodland plants and flowers will die off.
Okay, this is buckthorn, common buckthorn. The leaf has got a little bit of gloss to it if the light's shining off of it. They're pretty distinct. I mean, they're pretty deep.
Really? And form a thicket. And that I'll be talking
Friends
about
of Birch Island Woods and other groups run buckthorn workshops to help people figure out how to get rid of it.
That holds the soil in place and occupies space. It's really good.
Buckthorn propagates from the berries produced by the female plants. Birds help spread them around. There are several ways of removing buckthorn, and it is important to do it correctly. One way is to simply cut it down with a saw, or you can girdle it with a hand axe. But if you just cut it, you'll have to add the right kind of herbicide to the stump. Otherwise, the stuff will come back with a vengeance. Uprooting the buckthorn is another way. If the roots are killed, the buckthorn dies. Devices like weed wrenches can be helpful. It is important, however, to use them correctly. Buckthorn poles are becoming popular with school, scout, church, and environmental groups. These pulls can be lots of fun. Good exercise in a beautiful setting that puts a smile on Mother Nature's face, and probably your own.
Go for it, Mr.
After you disturb the site by pulling the buckthorn out, you want to tamp the soil back in place so it firms up and then cover it up with leaf mulch so you don't end up with any erosion.
Because we've got a relatively level spot here, and then the soil police will be watching you, so make sure you put all your soil back in the hole. Now here.
If you're trying to leave the native plants in place, you want to make sure that what you're taking are the invasives, in this case buckthorn. Here's some more little ones that are growing up. There's also some honeysuckle that's not native, so you need to know for sure what you're pulling so you don't end up taking out the good plants, which is what you want to leave behind when you're taking the invasives out.
There we go.
Sedge.
Sedge. Good job, Jeff. Okay. All right, let's go over here.
Where you go to chokecherry, you've got some red on the petioles that are holding leaves out. The leaves are a little bit more oval, and it's got a little bit of red tinge to it, and it's not nearly as glossy or shiny. So that shows you the difference. And this happens to be box elder, which is one of the maples. So this has a 3-part leaf. This is a real small plant.
The pulled and cut buckthorn can be piled up for wildlife shelters, and it can also be left to decompose right there on the ground. Now, some folks recycle the branches and stems in another way. They have them hauled off to an energy recycling depot. Buckthorn busters are pretty darn smart. If your cut buckthorn is free of berries, it can be run right through that chipper. Buckthorn wood chips without the berries make a great mulch to cover the bare areas that you've removed the buckthorn from. It's also great for making trails. Of course, it's not all that easy. Just like the front lawn, you'll have to return to keep it in check. But if you do it correctly and figure out what you want to replace the buckthorn with, you'll have some success and learn a lot about the local environment.